Okay, I have got this temporarily in place, kind of mocked up so that I can test it out. The actuating rod for the clutch release is actually a smidgen too long, so I'm going to have to make a spacer for it, it looks like. Let's see if I can show it there. Yeah, you can see it right there. So it's about that much too long. I don't have a precise measurement at the moment, but I should be able to make a spacer for that, and that should be okay then to compensate for not having this one, or this proper length. What I've got right now to make this work is I installed a nut, a 3/8 inch nut in the little gap between the drive shaft and the gearbox input shaft so that when I actuate the clutch, it's got something to push against. I'm going to have to make a new coupler. Initially, it looks like it's going to be about 2.5 inches long, about 1 3/8 or so in diameter, and then I'll make it come to meet up at that hole there instead of the hole that's missing back here. I did have to take my die grinder and remove a little bit of material. It'll be easier to show you on the other part here. So this little hub bolts onto the flywheel of the engine, and it has a little bit of a 45-degree angle, a little chamfer all the way around in here. The one that was on this engine doesn't have as much of a chamfer, so I had to get the grinder up in here and very carefully remove a little bit of that aluminum to give it a little bit of a chamfer, so that this flexible drive plate would fit flush up against that pulley. And also wound up going with shorter bolts, and I'm still not even sure if they're cinched down all the way. It's one of the things I'm going to have to keep an eye on. It looked like I had some threads that were trying to strip out of that as I was putting it together. The other thing is I have modified the support bracket that was originally on this tractor. So this is the support bracket that came from the junkyard, and it's wallered out a little bit. So I'm going to have to either repair that or make this clutch release lever, the hole, match my pin that I made for the original one. But otherwise, and I'm going to have to come up with a spring for my little collection of springs that will work for the clutch pedal return. So at any rate, otherwise, it does seem to be working. Let's see if I can juggle this well enough to show you. So the little grease zerk that was on the throwout bearing on this thing is damaged and unusable. So the grease is pretty well dried up in it, but still it's better than what was on this thing before. So at any rate, I'll figure out what my next step is from here and tinker with it some more probably tomorrow, I guess.